Yeah. Last night I got to thinking after talking about video games about this one. I can't remember when it came out. Apparently 83 it says here. I think it was a bit later than that. Maybe. Yeah, it must have been a bit later than that here in this town. And I may have seen it before then. And it looked spectacular. It was cartoon based. It had a video system that was actually on what was called a laser disc, apparently. The technology underlying it was pretty crude, but it looked amazing. But once you actually figured it out, all it really was again crude. What do you call it? Controls for manoeuvring the lead character in it. Wasn't timed very well, and it was just basically really rudimental stuff. And pretty dull. Apparently, it was a commercial success. I can't see how. I don't think. Mind you, us kids back then were really into whatever new came along. That sort of got me thinking back to the early Atari video entertainment system. I seem to recall it being the home entertainment system, but anyway. That apparently came to the UK in 1978. That was the first big gaming system that came to the UK, to UK homes. And I remember, I must have seen it. Apparently it's 1978 it came here. I remember seeing it. It must have been around that time. If not, it must have been around that time. And there was just this really... I recall two games. Pong, which was what most people called... what most people use the term ping pong for table tennis. It was known in the Olympics, table tennis and stuff like that. But most people called it ping pong, hence Pong for the Atari system, which was just two lines and a dot, and the dot would travel, and you'd have to block the dot and send it the other way. And then the dot, with the other person, you had controls. You can look it up, the Atari 2600. Would go the other way and so on and so forth and it'd speed up, I think, until one person didn't get to the dot in time and it travelled off the screen. And it just seemed amazing. Another game that looked brilliant, but wasn't as good as Pong, I don't think, because the gameplay wasn't as good, even though it was more complex, was Asteroids. Again, for the Atari 2600, the Atari Video Home Entertainment System. It was amazing. But anyway, thinking of table tennis, it sort of reminded me. My dad actually, by hand, made me a snooker table. Amazing. When snooker, I think it was 1981. The late 70s. That snooker started to capture the public imagination. And for a time, I really loved the game. For quite some time, I really loved the game. Really was a major sport for a time. Now I can't watch it for 5 minutes without, I couldn't watch it for 5 minutes without itching to change the channel if I watch TV. But yeah, back then it really was. I think now it's gone back to being a niche sport, snooker. But yeah, he made me a snooker table, and that's sort of. I mean, he had a real sense of ingenuity about him, in terms of making things and so on and so forth. That quite a few people of that generation did have. Mainly, I think, from recollection, the Europeans who came here, like my dad, from mainland Europe. And yeah, but yeah, amazing. A snooker table, bloody hell. Cues as well, amazing. But yeah, going back to Dragon's Lair, it was a classic example of entrepreneurship and innovation that was too far ahead of itself. Apparently, it was influential, but just spawned games that were pretty much based on the same type of technology. And to me, even though it looked great and I thought it would be fantastic, I can't even recall playing it. It just once you figured out, well, basically it's really like simple. There's no real point in, I'd rather play Pong or Asteroids. I'd rather have played Pong or Asteroids on the Atari. But yeah, it was that thing in the late 70s. I'm pretty sure that's when I saw, maybe 1980, when I saw the Atari Video Entertainment System. And couldn't believe it. That stuff like that was around. Like I say, like I've mentioned before, it'd be a few years before I get the ZX Spectrum, the 48K version. And yeah, by the way, when I mentioned about the clip of the Open University, I did have a black and white TV when I watched that clip. I would only get a colour TV quite a bit later. But yeah, I remember the dials on the black and white TV. So yeah. And yeah, let's have a look. What else? Look up. Yeah, apparently, but like I say, Dragon's Lair, which I used to call Dragon's Lair, it doesn't want to. It's actually Dragon's Lair. Yeah. Apparently, it says on the internet, some arcade operators later viewed it as a failure due to its high price, mechanical unreliability, and limited gameplay longevity. I can't remember it ever breaking down. Don't know about the price of it. Probably was because of it having a Laserdisc system and stuff like that. I also remember really wanting what was called a MIDI hi-fi or a micro hi-fi as well. They were quite impressive. We used to have a Sony. The town used to have a Sony shop in town, which had some great gear in it. But I was never really into music, so what I'd want stereo is beyond me. You know, again, this is just stuff that's coming to me. It's not really nostalgia stuff. But again, there was a electronics shop called Curry's in the town, and the level of service of the guy who served my dad, and he actually did buy the stereo. Was absolutely amazing. The amount of dedication to his job was something else. You know, the amount of service that this guy offered. There was also a Rumbelows in the town's Rowland Hill Centre that I think had just been constructed and opened. Rumbelows was the main competitor to Curry's back then. Curry's eventually bought it out. It was the more successful company, more financially secure company. But Rumbelows was where my mom first bought a video camera in, I think, 1983, 1982, 1983. Massive thing. Prior to then, you'd had Polaroid cameras where you had this, what was called Instamatic cameras, where you'd take a photo and it would process the photo instead of you having to use a darkroom and so on and so forth, that if you wanted to take up photography and without taking it to a developer's shop, you'd have to go through all the rigmarole of that. But yeah. Quite something else having a video camera at that time. Home movies and all that. Home movies have been quite a thing, I think, going back to the 50s in terms of quite a few people. But yeah. Amazing, these technologies. I also had a mechanical typewriter. I can't believe it. I had a mechanical typewriter. But yeah. It was quite something to have. I'd only learned to touch type on computer keyboards though years later, when I was in post-school education. And I learned how to touch type before many people did. Now it's second nature to people. I mean, you see a lot of people on their phones typing things out quite rapidly. But again, I don't know, the concentration of all these different elements in phones. It may make things convenient for most people, but in terms of video diarying, I don't think it's always the best idea. I mean, a lot of people don't use a phone for their video diaries, as I'll call them, even though most of these people call themselves vloggers. Many people use digital single lens reflex cameras or advancements on those. And I think there's a benefit to that. To me, I prefer the term video diarist because it ties in with text as well in a significant way. What we'll call bloggers, and what's still called bloggers in some respects. To me, don't go back far enough. That if you use the term video diarist, like I say, it taps into a whole tradition that's so much richer than terms like blogger and video blogger, vlogger. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, today has been a really wasted day. A day that's just been a complete waste of time. I think the third day that I've gone without sleep. It has been so boring. I can't even begin to describe how boring it's been. But in a way, that's been quite a good thing. I think. But yeah. Very boring. I had a fella from the housing come round to fit a mechanism to my outbuilding, which has got a latch to it, and a doorknob, which is a bit postmodern. I was looking at some pictures, some of my old photos, and looked at some of the statues. One of samurai, and others of was it Roman type pots? It was a bit postmodern as well. But yeah, postmodern type knob on my outbuilding's door, instead of an handle or a handle. But yeah, but it works. But the important thing is there's a latch on it, which I wanted. Sausages and chips with egg. I had chips and egg last night. I had the sausages. They're highly regarded sausages. It tastes a bit, not much to them. Yeah, I was thinking, yeah, they might. I haven't had them for ages, but actually they weren't all that. But I don't know what to have for lunch. Now. I'm totally bored of mushrooms with pasta and cream. I'm pretty bored of strawberries and cream, even though it's the food for the weather. I did look at a picture of the noodles I get. These little cup noodle things that remind me of all the preparation I used to do back at my mum's. I might have one of them in a sec, actually. Carry me over till a bit later. The taste of them's quite good. Different sauces that are actually really taste really good. And then minced beef and onion pie with potatoes, peas and gravy again. I could have lamb chops tomorrow with potatoes, peas and gravy and mint sauce. That's quite a nice meal. What is it tomorrow? I think I've got to have the chicken goes off on the 6th, so I'll either have it tomorrow or Friday. So I can't have a takeaway this week. But yeah. Today's been so boring. But yeah, that's the way it is. I've even got bored of watching these videos now. The videos that I've been doing since, let's have a look, really since the 29th of May. That's what finally got round to actually talking about stuff that was sort of an advancement on the type of stuff I've been talking about for so long. So yeah, so this is the 7th video that I'd have done in that sequence. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, in the last video, what was it? 3/4 of an hour? Again, not really saying much. What else did I look up today? The old park that I used to go to when I was a kid, and a bit later, was opened apparently in 1887. But I didn't come across anything, any footage or pictures of it. Someone would have had a moving images camera at the time, I'd have thought, around here. But yeah. Oh, something about this area, linking in with the video I did yesterday, is some regions in Britain did struggle, and this may be why I can make a void of value judgment at times about the time of Thatcher. This area, conservative area, I think in many ways Britain's a conservative country, but it's a group of England's a conservative country. Scotland and Wales have traditionally been more Labour, but I think that's changed as the economy's changed. I don't know, in Wales at least. But and the Liberals are quite strong in Scotland, I think. I don't know. But this place in particular is particularly conservative, and we did avoid, because of that, because we had a Conservative MP, and even though we had trade and manufacturing here, that would be in decline, we didn't experience, or did we? No, there were layoffs at the carpet factories. With my mum as an example, she just managed to get another job. She was quite good at working, my mum. In the world of work. This being a conservative, England, the majority of governments in modern times have been conservative, in Britain, hence, this is a conservative country. I remember the Conservatives, Heseltine in particular, so during the time of Thatcher, at a Conservative Party conference, saying we are the natural party of government, which sort of suggests to me they'd been in power for too long. To take it for granted almost, but there is a point to that. The Conservatives tend to be, the general sway of things in the bulk of the country veers towards conservatism. That's anyway. That's dealing with the last video. Great park that park was. Now, to me, it seems that as well. This park over here, is incredibly small. That park in on the other side of town also is not particularly big, but apparently one of the local industrialists bequeathed the park to the townspeople, like I say, in 1887. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, yeah. No, I'll leave that. This is 25.5 minutes now. Yeah. Yeah. My dad making me a snooker table. Bloody hell. Yeah, did I get bored? Yeah, I got bored of it eventually. Like I say, I think I was more into my computers. Even though I'd carry on playing snooker for quite some time, and watch snooker on the telly. Eventually, I was more into my computers. But yeah, something about making videos that people who do don't just confine themselves to their phone, who do use a digital SLR camera and advancements, who do use different types of equipment, that assembling something. If you do take into account the text, I just saw history there. In a way, I'm giving an archaeology of video diarying, and how it should be done today. People who do assemble with various equipment, their stuff, rather than just do it on a phone. And maybe that's why the videos that I've seen in recent years, not that I've kept tabs on things like YouTube or its competitors, the short form videos, why they may have taken off, is one of the flaws, if I'm right, about phones, about the rise of these multimedia, if the term's multimodal phones. Like I say, with me, like I say, the influence of having had a mechanical keyboard, having had a video camera, having had cameras, and stuff. That's what I was going to get to. Clive Sinclair invented a few early computers, right? But this was where he was an innovator, but he wasn't a very smart businessman. He was an inventor. And eventually he would sell out, I'm pretty sure, to this guy called Alan Sugar, who had a company called Amstrad, Alan Michael Sugar Trading. And I had one of his stereos, and it had a double cassette deck. Now games on the ZX Spectrum and the Commodore 64 came on audio tape, and I had one of the early tape to tape decks, early popular tape to tape decks. I just copy the games and eventually and stuff like that. I did the same with video. I'd get videos from the video shop. And I'd do tape to tape. I don't know why, because once you watch the film, that's essentially it. Why watch unless there's a significant period of time where you can revisit it with revisit a film, and like with novels and stuff, and see new angles, sort of thing, new perspectives, new breadth, new depth. than if you just tape it. Because like most times, I'd tape something, I'd never watch it again. It'd just get stuck on a shelf. Yeah, quite interesting times again, like I keep saying. That period of time. But yeah. Yeah, Alan Sugar, he did bring out oh yeah, he brought out Spectrum. How was Spectrum? Anyway, he brought out Spectrum with an attached cassette, audio cassette player. But I don't think they were ever as popular again. Commodore took over the market, I think, from what I remember. The Commodore Computer Company, with the Commodore 64, then the Amiga and whatever. But yeah. Yeah, but that's the thing. When you assemble, sort of like these videos, sort of picking from different elements as I go along to construct something. It's just mainly just discussing stuff. Yeah. I've actually, I think I've posted it on another video. I've got a picture of the view from my bedroom window. I'm getting bored of it. It's a great view. What could I do with? Change it. Trouble is, I haven't really got another photo. I've deleted loads of photos. And loads of photos got wiped off a hard drive ages ago that I had. I wouldn't have particularly been enamoured with them anyway. They were primarily crap. But yeah. So yeah, I suppose the thing is, I'm trying to say with this video, and where I've eventually come to, in terms of picking different subjects, areas of interest, is if people make video diaries. To me, I wouldn't, because I can't afford it. I can't afford to get all the equipment. I'd just use a phone with a microphone and a filter. For some reason, the image on this, I can change it in post, the brightness is gone down in a way it hasn't on any other day. So I'll just bump it up in post, the brightness levels. But yeah, yeah, quite something that I had a mechanical keyboard. It does say something about there's an importance, I think, of having lived through both the tail end of the print era, and the computer, and then into the computer era. Yeah, so if you do video diaries, not that I'm in a position to give advice, because I've never really done videos in this way. Even though I suppose over time I have, what with mechanical keyboards, video cameras, stills cameras, audio equipment, computer equipment, over time. But importantly, I did have that grounding in text. And yeah, if you do video diaries, and if someone out there wants to start a movement to abolish the term vlogger and instead use the term video diarist, looking ahead, I think that'll probably be the way to go. Yeah, I suppose the theme to what I was saying that I didn't really pick up on was the element of play and exploration. I did have this experience in the mid-80s, and it was, I didn't, there was no spirit of adventure about it. It was just, the early stages of being on the dole. Sometimes you like, out of inexperience of being on the dole, you'd get yourself into, you could find, get yourself into some really dumb situations. And there was something in the 70s called sniffing glue that skinheads used to do. Guessing, most skinheads, working class, didn't have much money, didn't have much access to, didn't have the access to alternatives to that, let's put it that way. And it was seen as a tough thing to do and all that business. Not that I bought into that, but I just did it, and I really regret it because it apparently it wipes loads of brain cells. But one good thing about it is I had this experience. Now there's this film called Easy Rider, where the characters have this experience of taking LSD, and it's a really, to my, I had nothing like that when I dabbled in it as a student, and I didn't have anything like that really with glue, but it did alter my consciousness, so to speak. And there was this really mechanistic, like hammering that I can hear. I did it. I can't remember exactly where I did it. Now, come to think of it, rough area. I think I know the rough area of town that I did it in. But yeah, this thundering of the old, what was coming to an end, the old industries, and this horrible sense about it, about that mechanistic industrial era. And I sort of got that wrong in that video. This area did suffer significant job losses. I remember my dad lost his job. My mum had to get another job. But like I said, she just got into another job. My dad was old enough then to retire. Luckily, he was resourceful enough to put enough away to be able to retire, and he got a significant lump sum on retirement. He'd worked for the carpet trade for a long time, as had my mum. But the real theme of what I was saying, and so that sort of experience of sniffing glue, the effect it had, of really, giving me a sense of the industrial, mechanised era. That was quite useful. The sense of exploration and play that came with that generation that had the Atari, played table sports like snooker, computer games, and so on and so forth. The early video cameras that were a lot more popular than cine cameras and projectors had been. To my knowledge, and that's what I'm sort of saying, I think video diaries should be this element of exploration, of assembling influences like text, having a good grounding in text, especially, as well as, I see a lot of videos, it's all about cosmetics. And yeah, I suppose it adds to it, but it sort of makes it too much like, I don't know, it veers too much into commercial movie making, whereas I think a video diary should tap into that, like I mentioned about the tradition earlier. But again, talking about the Conservatives and Michael Heseltine, to the party faithful, because the differentiation between the heads of a government and a political party and the party faithful, to my mind, and maybe this is bias again, in the Conservative Party, there was a huge gap. The way I perceive the party faithful, the type who would go to conferences in those days, the brightest of the bunch. Because I remember Norman Tebbit, this really quite strange character. If you came across him in everyday life, maybe you wouldn't see him that way. I'm sure he was a great guy privately, but he sort of said that the BBC during the Falklands conflict or war or whatever you want to call it should call the British troops our troops and all that sort of thing. Like I said, that was one of the people who I'm sure he was a great guy in private, but in public, that sort of thing. But like I say, this Conservative area, in the main, it was quite a wealthy, comfortable area to grow up in the 80s. So we didn't really experience, most people, I don't think, some of the things that quite significant pockets of the country experienced with the changes that many people see as essential, especially in retrospect, that took place. But to me, the era was mainly about despite having a mechanical typewriter, which I thought was great, which I thought was just someone else, was just good grounding, and like I say, if you use different devices to construct video diaries and stuff, then I think you get more out of it. Not only more devices, but more influences, like I say, text, image, video, audio, the way you construct an argument, the way you construct a monologue, and so on, I think is important, not least tapping into all that tradition as well, while also staying open to innovation, and looking further afield, which is pretty much the best way to be, I think. But yeah, quite interesting that. Despite despite the fact I did work at a factory once. It was fucking awful. So bad. The people there had such a passion for it. Yeah. I sort of, even though, this is something I was going to mention yesterday in terms of mentioning about Margaret Thatcher's power dressing. That when you go to school, you're dressed up in these suits that are sort of for most people. Well, when I was growing up, was totally unsuitable for the type of career you would eventually take up. But yeah, what sort of suit, isn't it? Which ties into Mrs. Ellis, which is who was one of the most delicate people I think I've ever met. She was a great person. And I remember striding down. Well, no, I wasn't. I was just walking naturally down the street. And she saw me in my proxy pseudo suit or whatever that you have at school. And said, "Oh, growing up now, and all that, how time changes and all that when you get older, how fast time goes by." But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's it. You just explore this stuff, explore the different gadgets, modes of expression. But like I say, I think so many people, to my knowledge, on what I've observed, even though I haven't really bothered that much with the internet in recent times, most significantly text. I think all the rest you can sort of pick up, but a really good grounding in text, and then following on to the other stuff, while also keeping in mind the traditions of diarists, instead of limiting it to bloggers, as they were called. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not even hungry, so I think I'll edit this first, and then have my meal. I probably won't sleep again tomorrow. I'm probably going into an habit now, not sleeping. I've sort of adapted to it. So yeah. That's about it, really. Oh, something I did get wrong. There are pockets of the country that are significantly liberal. I mean, the part of the town that I was from, at my mum's, had a significant liberal party. We were called the Liberal Democrats vote, and the Liberals have been quite strong around here, quite frequently, at a local level, but not in terms of the national MP, who has traditionally been conservative, like the country. Yeah, these politicians, they did used to say things to the party faithful to get them fired up and all that business. But yeah, I don't bloody know. Maybe they do that now, maybe they don't, I don't know. Yeah, I don't bloody know. Anyway, yeah, can't see myself doing another one of these tonight. Right, that's that for now. Yeah, I thought I'd do yet another addendum to this video. And that is, when I sort of say you've got to have a good grounding in text, I don't really mean that you need to be widely read or anything like that. Like for example, my cultural resources growing up weren't what many people's are. You know, I did have that benefit of going to Europe as a kid, which sort of strengthened the stuff that took place via osmosis. But it's sort of, and every I suppose, in the modern era, every era within that has had its own modes of operation, its own ways of doing things. But during my time, which I don't think is the time at present, or to my knowledge, the concentration on issues like consciousness, is different. You know, before me, people will have had more of a grounding in Keynesian, a Keynesian society. You know, I essentially came of age during an era of what was called free and open markets. You know, but with though that thing with the industrial era, the mechanistic era, and having had various experiences, let's put it that way, prior to and then as a student, having had a mechanical keyboard, like all the stuff I mentioned, I've mentioned so far in this video. You know, you do. There is sort of, you know, I've got a consciousness of before the web that I think is useful. People now who haven't had that consciousness may disagree, but have they actually got the resources to be able to tap into that? Now, I haven't read the Gutenberg Galaxy, and I don't think I'm going to. It's a lengthy book, and you know, I just haven't got the wherewithal at the moment to read books like that. You know, I would like to be more of a futurist, as well as you know, casting my mind back to periods like the period between I left school and went to college, for example. You know, I would like more resources to, you know, tap into that futurism type stuff that really were a significant part of my early life. So yeah, other people will have those resources more readily available to them, more accessibly available to them than I've currently got. But yeah, it is important to of that sense of moving forward, and new ways of doing these monologues that people do. Again, moving away from TV as well, which is important as moving away from commercial movie making. And other genres online. My experience is my experience, shared by many people of my generation, in significant ways. But yeah, first time I actually thought about that glue sniffing incident. Maybe I shouldn't even mention it, but first time I thought about that in that sense. It really was a more important event than I thought it was, in terms of really moving me on to electronics, technology and stuff. But yeah, I couldn't stand that factory. They were so passionate about stapling together settees. Just no chance. But yeah, like I say, I've said before, I'm not well read, but to have experienced that period where text was so prominent in society, so much more a part of everyday life, I think was important, for me at least. But like I say, other people have gone, I'm sure these days have got their ways. If anything, my something I really need to do is to start tapping into futurism. But like I said, that may take a bit of time.